Good morning, everyone. How are you today? This video is going to compare the latest addition to the market of CrossFit or functional fitness training shoe, and it's going to make a comparison to the all-time favorite, which is the Reebok Nano 6s. So these guys are ancient history, these Reebok Nano 6s. These go back to 2016, and they're pretty much the only shoe that I have worn since getting into functional training, and in particular CrossFit. Lots of weightlifting, plyometrics, gymnastics, running, rowing, cycling, body weight stuff, burpees, push-ups, pull-ups, you name it. So these are the Nano 6s, and I have had these for over 5 years. 4 years, 4 to 5 years, and they're now globally extinct. You cannot buy a pair of 9.5 Nano 6s anywhere in the world. So I've been forced to find something equivalent. I have tried the Metcons, Nike Metcons. I have tried the other variations of the Reebok shoes, all the Nano 7s, 9s, Nano Xs, and you know what? I've just sold them off because I just cannot wear them comfortably. And finally, I was in a shopping centre recently that had an Under Armour store, and I just sort of wandered in and said, oh, okay, let's see if Under Armour's stepped into the functional fitness market. And incredibly, they had. And they've released the TR, the Under Armour Tribase Rain 2 shoe. I've got this in a size 10.5. Noticing that that's one full size more than the Reeboks, which are 9.5 there. So there's a slight variation in their sizing, about one size bigger with the Under Armour. But here is the Under Armour shoe, and here is the Reebok Nano 6 shoe, two different variations. Okay, why? And I've worn these guys in 2 workouts now. I've worn this new shoe in 2 workouts now, and I really like it. I think it's the closest that I have been able to find to the Reebok Nano 6s. Why is that? Number one, the look. It looks really cool. Oops, excuse me. There's two I think maybe there's 3 patterns to choose from. So you've got a little bit of you've got some variation in the pattern that you might like, and the 6s came in quite a number, probably half a dozen different styles and colours, 2-tone versus monotone. This is the same. So here's a 2-tone shoe with a bit of an orange highlight, and then your grey-white highlight with a bit of black as well. I've already got a bit of a scuff mark there from the last workout yesterday. So it's a nice looking shoe. I've put on some contrasting laces there, and what it came with was just standard black laces, but I like that contrasting lace color. It's got that nice flat base there for your weightlifting, and it's also a little bit flexible in the toe for running and jumping, but not too flexible. Okay, such that you would have in a pure running shoe. It's got this hard plastic surface here for doing your handstand push-ups when your feet are rubbing up against the wall, and there's nothing too grippy there, so that's nice and slippery. Let's make a comparison to the Nano 6s. That just has a little bit of nylon or some sort of synthetic mesh material there, but no real specifically designed sliding component there for extra wear and tear. But as you can see, they're 4 or 5 years old and there's no real wear on the back. But this one actually has a hardened plastic structure there to take that load and keep it nice and slippery when you're upside down up against the wall. I have seen some shoes with like a rubber stopper there, which is crazy because that sort of creates a bit more grip. Then what else can we say? Let's look at the Rope Pro for rope climbs. This is the patented Reebok Rope Pro grip that really digs into the rope and helps you maintain that foot lock, which is probably second to none in its design. That's got some nice teeth in it. So this is probably the only area where the Under Armour falls backwards a little bit in that this is not as bitey, I would say, in its rope gripping design. It's not as angled, so it's a little bit more vertical versus this one being a bit more oblique, and it doesn't have those nice bitey teeth, but it has got some tread there to optimize some bite onto the rope for when you're doing rope climbs. The material here is probably not going to be as tough as this Kevlar patch here, which is like sandpaper and also provides a little bit more grip onto the rope and also toughens the fabric. This is a bit more leathery and then meshy here, leathery then meshy. So it'll be interesting to see when I do some rope climbs. Might try to do some of those today and see how that handles the wear and tear factor with these new Under Armours, and whether they need to get some feedback from athletes around the world, you know, particularly if they're new into the market. But obviously this is the second edition that they've brought into the CrossFit market or the functional fitness market. I never actually saw the TR 1.0s, so this is my first trial of the Tribase Rain type of shoe. What else can we say that may even be better than the Nano 6s? What I like about this shoe is that it doesn't have a separate tongue. Okay, so if you look at that, it's more like a sock. It's a sock. There's no tongue there, so that really hugs your forefoot really well. And this is your standard conventional design for most shoes. It has this separate tongue piece here that you just tuck in under your lace ups, and it just holds you nice and tight. But you can see that the sock doesn't start till sort of deep in the shoe. There's a little bit of a sock starting there that wraps around your foot, whereas this one starts right up high on your ankle. The lacing ties up nicely, looks really neat. Got a little bit of uniqueness to it as well. And then within the shoe you've got a little bit of padding there, so you've got a little bit of padding on the heel. Don't know if you can see that, but you can, probably a bit too dark or so. There you go, you can see a little bit of padding in there just on the heel. There's that little pillow of foam, and this Nano 6, they don't have that. It's just slightly padded back wall of the shoe there, and so that gives it a bit more of a comfy feel, and is probably the reason why you need to go up at a half or one size if you buy these Under Armours, because of that extra padding built into the shoe there. And then you've got the base, the sole of the shoe, or what do they call this? This is just your insert, and it's not in any way super padded or anything like that, and you don't want that. Remember, this is not a trail running shoe. You want this to be very thin and slimline to enable that nice energy transfer from the floor when you jump and explosively power through your lower limbs. And it comes out nice and easy, because sometimes you may want to put a little insert in there, such as a heel raise or something of that nature, and you want to be able to slot that under the insert and easily pop it back in, just like so. It just goes back in there like that, easily. And then you can pop your clobbers in there and get on with the training. So that is a side-by-side, both aesthetic and functional comparison of the GOAT of all functional training shoes, the Reebok Nano 6s, versus the new kids on the block, the Under Armour Tribase Rain 2.0 functional training shoe. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that, and hope that's of some value to you if you're thinking of buying a new shoe. Particularly when you buy these things online, you want to know what they really look like and feel like before you buy them. It's such a pain in the bum sending them back and getting your refunds and things like that. It's such a nuisance. Alright, have a great day guys. See you in the gym.